I'm going to just start Alice again. Please don't put all this in there. I don't need the bit again. You good?
Yeah. Are you?
Yep. I didn't want to write just a medieval sword and sorcery fantasy. You know, I wanted to bring a modern take on it because I'm obviously a modern person, as we all are, and I just find as a writer, writing dialogue for medieval knaves and soldiers and whatnot is first of all forced because, I mean, while we do have records of Old English, these movies take their liberties with them. Any movies that are set at the time. So I thought, you know, I would bring a bit of sort of modern convention, modern attitude, modern sensibilities into it by having Granger, who's played by Dolph Lundgren, to have him come back from the modern era into the medieval times. He's almost caustic, you know, in his criticisms of the time. I mean, he's talking about salmonella here, and he's talking about modern medicine versus historical medicine, and yet he's still a soldier. I mean, he still can relate to people like Allard, his fellow soldier, but I like the idea of him coming back and sort of being our, as modern society's eyes and ears of that era, and being cheeky about it. I mean, he has fun with it, you know, and it's not just, oh God, he's dragged back and then he has to fulfill some big prophecy, which he does, but he does it with his tongue in his cheek, and I think that really was a really good way to do it. And Dolph was just fantastic. I don't know, he's a charismatic guy, you know. I mean, he's a smart guy, he's well educated. I think he's a karate champion, and so here's this formidable movie star who really helped us out and brought a lot of humanity to this role. I mean, the scene where he's crying when he's thinking about his comrades, his fallen comrades, that actually makes me well up every time I watch it. I think it's a pretty emotional scene. I think he brought a great physicality, but a great sense of humor to the role. Natasha Malte, she was in BR3, and you know, she's always just fantastic. But she's a lot more playful in this than she's really allowed to be in BR3. There's a scene where she's going through Dolph's pockets and she finds his container of pills, and she's trying to get it open with her knife because, of course, it's childbirth and she has no idea what the heck it is. And he comes in and she just kind of holds the knife and she's like, you know, like, I was just nothing. I'm just leaving. And she's got a real comic sensibility about her. I think that she brought a lot of great things to it. But like Lachlan Monroe as the king, as Raven, he was menacing and he had a good sense of humor about him. Like, he was playful, and you could tell that he was almost like this boy king, you know, that this young guy that as a soldier became the king and took the throne in a coup, and yet could be pretty sinister, you know, when he kills the seer. It's pretty crazy. I hope you watch the movie before watching this. Because Granger was a modern guy, I wanted to bring sort of modern film conventions in, so the script is just littered with voiceover. Now, they did cut a lot of the voiceover out. You know, a lot of the dialogue, but a lot of the voiceover got cut out, but you still have some of the establishing voiceover. And there were freeze frames, and there were a couple scenes where Granger was explaining something, and then, at least in the screenplay, I had it sort of reversing, you know, back through the previous sequence or the cut to the scene, and then you would see that, and then it would explain it, and so there was a lot of visual stuff there that Uwe didn't bring into the film. There was one scene where Granger in Manhattan, Dolph and Natasha essentially throw themselves off a cliff to get away from Thane and his soldiers. But that scene I rewrote probably 4 or 5 times. We thought we were shooting at Whistler in the winter. We thought we were shooting sort of in the spring, so it became a mud hill, it became a snow-covered hill, and essentially all the action had to change. That was sort of the biggest considerations. To watch it move, it's amazing. You know, to walk into the production office and just see everyone there for this film. It's flattering, I mean, to a writer, and it's also it's a bit intimidating. But they're top of their game. Every aspect of the movie is managed. I mean, if you have the good fortune of not just submitting your script, but being part of the production process, which I was, and I think that all affects your writing tremendously. You have to understand that it's a group effort, and everyone has their 2 cents, and you just work together to make it as good as possible. What else? I'm just drawing a blank right now. You're gonna have to cut this part out. I have no idea.